From the backwoods and the swamp waters of the Sunshine State and all across America and the world, this is the Big and Wild Outdoors.
From the frost-veiled mountains of the forgotten north, beneath a blood moon sky, the ground has begun to tremble once more. Whispers ride the wind like ghostly drums of war, for he who once ruled fang and flame has stirred from his ancient slumber. Behold, the King Dire Wolf returns, clad in a coat of starlit obsidian, eyes burning with the wisdom of 1,000 winters. He emerges not as a beast, but as legend reborn. The howl that shatters the silence carries the weight of empires lost and oaths unbroken. His paw steps crush stone, his breath chills flame. No blade may pierce him, no chain may bind him. The earth bends to his will, and the skies weep silver at his passing. He returns not for peace, but for balance, called forth by the fracture of the ancient pacts, by the rise of shadow in the east. Kingdoms shall kneel, tyrants shall flee, and those who still bear the mark of the old blood shall rise beside him, fangs bared and hearts ablaze. The age of men is fading, the wild has awoken. The King Dire Wolf walks once more.
And this is how we start the show. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Big and Wild Outdoors. I'm Brady Gunn. This is Captain Vince Noble, and this is Bill George. And we are out at our one of our favorite little haunts out in Plant City, Florida, known as Smokin Aces BBQ.
Actually, it is not Smokin Aces BBQ anymore. It is Smokin Aces Steakhouse. Did you see
well,
that?
It's always been kind of a steakhousey, but they're also known for their barbecue.
Their barbecue's on point.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing bad. It's one of those places where you can just point at the menu, and whatever you're going to get is going to be absolutely fabulous. The owner can't be here today because he's actually in downtown Tampa cooking for some big federal credit union. What did Son say? 120 pounds of beans alone?
Yep, 3,000 wings.
Yeah,
that's a lot of wings, man.
So you can tell that obviously their food sucks. That's why they want to make so much of it. But no, we're out here today. We're hanging out a little bit, and we have a lot to talk about today. We have some stuff to talk about from one of Bill George's most favorite places to hunt in the entire world. We have a story near and dear to our good friend Vince Noble, who put up the little video up on Facebook and YouTube this past week that I thought that was a tremendous job. I mean,
thank you.
You did a really good job. Even though the subject matter is now...
it's a little shady, but,
Now it's turned into this huge controversy. It's like anything.
It's all over the place.
Well, if you don't know what we're talking about the reintroduction or the what do they call it? The extinction
of the dire wolf.
Of the dire wolf.
10,000 years ago.
10 to 1,000 years ago. Are you familiar with the story, Bill George?
Not at all.
First off, have you watched Game of Thrones?
No.
Listen, neither have I. I've never watched it. I don't know anything about it. But I know that the wolves and some dragons played a big, huge part of that.
They had technically they had the dire wolf in the series. The portrayed.
But that's over in Europe. The dire wolf was more in America than.
I don't know why they did it that way, but whatever.
Okay.
That's what made the dire wolf famous.
Well, the dire wolf, Bill George, for those who don't know.
All right, the dire wolf
has been extinct for anywhere between 12 to 10,000 years ago. Okay.
From what I gathered from the lead-in, it's been presumed to be extinct.
No, it is extinct. It's gone with the dodo.
Okay.
It's supposedly never to return. But some mad scientists got together and they got some genetic material out of some bones and some things that were well preserved. The number one location in the United States for the amount of dire wolves carcasses is in where?
Wyoming.
Nevada.
Wyoming.
The La Brea tar pits in California.
Really?
Yeah.
Good old tar.
Okay.
Well, think of a wolf. I'm starving to death. I haven't eaten in a week. And there's dead animals floating all over the place over here. I'm going to swim through this water here and go get me a chunk of that.
I mean, that makes all the sense in the world.
Now you know why the dire wolf is extinct. It's not because they didn't have enough to eat. It's because they were stupid and they thought they could swim in tar.
I don't think that's why they're extinct.
Well,
could be part of it.
Well, a vast majority of it, because the other one they say is because of some particular animal that they hunted a lot. It's kind of like what they used to hunt. The cheetah-like animal that used to live in North America that hunted the antelope is no longer here, but the antelopes are. But once one animal left, the dire wolf apparently went the way of the dodo. But then why are so many of them in the damn La Brea tar pits?
Right.
But anyway, so they got some DNA. They monkeyed around with it, took some of the good parts and some of the parts that they liked out of the DNA, mixed it with the gray wolf DNA, then fertilized embryos, put them in a domesticated dog, and let the dog carry the eggs, the embryo, until birth. And now you have, boom, these animals, these animals that look like dire wolves, but not exactly like dire wolves.
I mean, they're not 100. I don't think they're 100%. I couldn't find any data on.
They're not. They're not even close.
Yeah.
They only took like 14 or 15, from what I've read, DNA markers and mixed it in with the gray wolfy thing and changed it, and then they were.
So they can't say it's a dire wolf. It's a hybrid of a dire.
Right.
That's what I would call it.
It's kind of like with those when they, for a while in the 70s, remember people thought it was all great to get those German Shepherd wolf hybrid puppies, and then they started like eating everybody. And then they thought, well, okay, this is a bad idea.
Once you put some wolf in there, it's
a bad idea.
What I want to know is the lead scientist, when he was a kid, did he watch Jurassic Park too many times?
Exactly.
Because this is not a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing.
Why not?
Because here's the next on the list is supposed to be the woolly mammoth.
And something else too. They want to bring back some other critter.
What predator can take care of a polar bear is not going to take care of a woolly
What do
mammoth.
you think they're going to let woolly mammoths just roam everywhere?
So what you're saying?
They're going to go on a hunt preserve.
No, they're going to go. They're going to go. This, and of course, this is why I don't know why the animal rights people aren't just going over the moon over this, because or screaming to the moon about it. Is because you know that anything that's bigger than this, say, dire wolf hybrid is going to end up straight into a zoo or some sort of preserve.
It's not going to be. It's not going to roam.
No.
It's not going to be wild. It's
No.
all domesticated. But even with, if you bring back a woolly mammoth, what takes down a woolly mammoth? A saber-tooth, a saber-toothed tiger.
A 600 nitro.
Yeah, that too. What's that?
300 Win Mag is going to take care of a woolly mammoth. That's
Hey,
what's happening.
I'm saying natural predator. It does not have a
It
natural
doesn't have a
predator.
natural
It
predator
won't be in
anymore.
nature. It won't be released.
No, they're not going to let him go.
I think you're playing with God's plan a little too much, and
I agree.
It's not. I don't think it's a good thing.
We talked about this on the phone earlier this week, and I said if they're going to do that, why don't they do it with the passenger pigeon or the curlew or something that was hunted to extinction in the early 1900s? It's been kind of recent. I mean, in the realm of history,
Right.
and bring those back in ungodly numbers and let them loose in the wild, because now you have something that will survive on its own, will have predators, and will be able to eat them again.
I agree with that.
So,
Bill, you've watched Jurassic Park, right?
I've seen. Yes,
Okay.
I did see
Okay.
Jurassic
Well,
Park.
have you seen all of them? How it ends, and they break out of the island, and then they take over the world.
No, I didn't see that.
That's how it ends, basically.
Well,
we don't need that to happen.
I must have just seen the first one, and I don't
You did.
think that happened in the.
And then the first one, the
No.
most iconic line ever done was by Jeff Goldblum that goes right to this. He goes, "Yeah, you can, but do you think you should? Just because you can doesn't mean you should."
Right.
And that's when he was talking to the doctor who actually, was reintroducing these dinosaurs back. And he goes, "These are not supposed to be here anymore. They had their time. They're done."
And you know good and well, there's some bonehead with too much money out there going,
Oh.
I'm gonna buy all
think
these
of
up.
it
I'm
this
gonna do
way.
my own animal.
He's
We
gonna have
turn
dire
around-
wolves running around in his
Yeah.
compound.
We're thinking in the future. See, we get a whole bunch of dinosaurs, and we turn around and revegetate the world, and then we plow it under, and future generations will have oil.
Oil doesn't come from dead plant life or dinosaurs.
Where does it come from?
It doesn't come from that.
What does it come from?
It comes from the intense pressures of mineralization of rock and soil underneath billions of tons of... Dude, I'm telling you, it's been proven. It's not dead dinosaurs and plants. Oh my gosh, we were so off topic. So anyway, the dire wolf is not really more of a wolf. It's more, as it says here, I had to go to wildlife and look this up because I wanted to know. I've never known about the dire wolf. It's more closely related to the African jackal than gray wolves. And you have to go back 60 million years to find its living common ancestor. Dire wolves went extinct 10 to 12,000 years ago because they say their mega herbivore prey also disappeared around the same time.
How big does this thing get?
The original ones were supposed to be huge.
They're about 1.5 the size of a gray wolf. The big, what do they get, like 120 pounds, 130
So
pounds?
this is something that, if it got out, could be eating people.
Oh yeah.
It could do some damage.
Oh yeah, it's going to do it. Okay, so I was wrong. It says that this company, Colossal, edited 20 chosen genetic variants into the gray wolf DNA. 15 of them were extinct variants that haven't existed in over 12,000 years. So they took some of it and moved it over, but not all of it. It says that the wolves will include, they'll be 20 to 25% larger than a gray wolf, having more muscle mass and an Arctic white coat.
Can you imagine hearing that come tromping through the woods?
No, I'm not worried about one.
A pack.
Yeah, I'm worried about like 10 or 15 of them. One, okay, I got enough ammo in here to make this work. All of a sudden, you drop 6 of them, and there's 8 more left, and you're going,
Yep, I'm done.
oh crap. Come on, bitch mate. Come on, bitch mate. Don't let me down. Click. I mean, it's about
going down with a fight.
Yeah, I mean, but they're saying that this company also has got plans, or at least they want to, is to bring back, like you said, the woolly mammoth, and they're looking at a few other species that were considered extinct that they would like to attempt to bring back.
What's the purpose of a woolly mammoth? Why bring that back? What is the main purpose of wanting to bring that back? Just because you want to?
It's because you want to. That's the only thing you can do. I mean, I'm not going to say I wouldn't be willing to try woolly mammoth meat. I'd be okay with that. I'm sure they make a great coat.
I'm sure Robert here can throw it on the grill for us. And
Robert has got a recipe, and if he doesn't, Toby has
the recipe.
Toby will figure it out real quick.
Toby's going to be like, oh, I can tell you how to cook 500 pounds of that. Yeah, and he'll be all right with it. So, welcome back, Dire Wolf. And if you want to see the video that Vince made for it and everything like that, it's on our Facebook page, and I think it's on our YouTube page as well.
Which we now have a YouTube page.
Yeah.
But I tell you, you go back, they're genetically changing all kinds of fruits and vegetables.
Oh yeah, every day.
And meat, and growing meat in labs, and it's just...
Now, if they're going to bring back the woolly mammoth for feeding people that need food, okay, I'm good with that. You know, let's stop the starvation. Let's stop all that because we're bringing back animals that we could use for food.
But then in 50 years, the people be complaining because they release too much methane because they eat 300 pounds of hay per day.
Yeah.
And it'll be, a woolly mammoth produces more methane than 500 head of cattle in a single day. We need to get rid of the woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, where's PETA? That's what I want to know.
they're not saying a word because...
Why?
Well, they're kind of in that dilemma thing. It's like, well, crap, now we don't have an argument because they can actually bring them back. And I told you this story a long time ago. I read an article about 25 years ago, and I think in like Field and Stream or something, where geneticists were looking at the fact that old taxidermy, the old style that was just, tanned hide, that was stuffed with, sawdust or packing stuff, that if they could extract DNA from the antlers or maybe from the bone, because they used to just skull clean them and then put them back on the skin.
Right, so all the skeletons there.
They could go back and bring back extinct species thanks to taxidermied dead animals. Because now the DNA's been preserved.
Like the Bengal tigers.
Or what's the one down in Australia, the Tasmanian devil?
Yep.
I mean, all these ones that are still around that somebody somewhere has in an attic or great-great-grandfather's den that can bring back a dead species.
I don't know.
Thanks to hunters.
I don't agree with the whole thing, and like I'm surprised PETA hasn't jumped all over it.
Well, they will eventually when it fits their narrative.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
When we start making T-shirts out of the woolly mammoth fur or jackets or something, it's like, you're exploiting the woolly mammoth. We ain't even saying the woolly mammoth.
But we grew them without a brain. They have no feeling.
Yeah, they're strictly meat, and that's it, and fur. That's all we have on fur.
Talking about T-shirts.
I know. You can't see the back, but it's got it on the. It's on the back. The one that your girl's wearing, I like a lot. It's got the camo big and wild
out.
Where can you see those? Are they on the Facebook?
They're going to be up on Facebook and on our website probably by the end of the week.
Really?
Yes, sir.
So what are you asking for that little?
$24.95.
$24? Yep. Why are you putting 95 on there? Just make it $25.
It just sounds better.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like hell.
Scientific research has proven that you keep it just under a dollar amount, and then the mind doesn't see $25.
They see 24, and then I do ask Britt. I do it all the time. She goes, "How much is it?" I was like $16. She goes, "And 95 cents."
Yeah, because she's smart.
So
you know
I
what?
do that all the time.
You really believe that?
Yeah, I do it every day.
Yes. No,
yeah.
It is. That is the way it is.
Right. And you probably believe that oil comes from dead dinosaurs and plant life too.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to take a break. It is the Big and Wild Outdoors. I'm Braden Kevin Vince Noble and Bill George at Smokin Aces BBQ in Plant City. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Big and Wild Outdoors. Braden Good, Captain Vince Noble, and Bill George at Smokin Aces BBQ and Steakhouse here in beautiful Plant City, Florida. We're out here today, going to eat a little bit of lunch and then go our separate ways. You going to the woods today?
I got to go take down turkey camp. Sad day.
Another year is gone. It's come and gone.
It's not gone because he's going to Pennsylvania to shoot more.
Oh, so. Yeah. No.
It's like
the turkey camp taken down is a sad day.
It's the kumbaya.
Turkey season has not.
It's not over. You got guys out today that are turkey hunting today,
My
right?
daughter went out this morning. My daughter went out, got her out today, and
who's she hunting with?
Buddy of mine, Doc, Tom Weddle.
A good caller?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Better turkey hunter, but a good caller.
Okay.
Can you call without any of the instruments and tools?
Instruments and tools?
Well, I mean, you got the little...
Yeah. You have them?
No, I don't have them.
He meant with your mouth.
With your mouth. They'll like natural.
You know, like my buddy Glenn used to do it.
Hey, turkey.
Turkey. That's not how he does it.
Go out in the woods.
Here's how Bill George calls turkey in the wild. Excuse me, sir. What aisle would I find the turkey breast on?
No. I got it. Here it is. Bill George here. Move.
Hey, Robert, you still got turkey back there?
I'm not like Glenn. I can't, and I don't call extremely well with the turkey call.
Well, you know,
Glenn's good,
but I kill turkey.
He kills a lot of turkeys,
yeah, you do.
And that is true. And it just goes to show you that you don't have to be the world's greatest turkey caller to kill turkeys.
No,
you don't.
No,
they're like, you know, they have great eyesight. They have unbelievable instincts when it comes to being wary. But when it comes to calling, and it's that time of year when it's the girls that they're looking for, they don't give a crap what she sounds like.
And sometimes
they don't give a crap what she sounds like.
Sometimes the best thing to do is not call.
Yeah, shut up.
Once they know where you are, and they know that you're there. Sometimes you keep calling. That just makes it worse. You just shut up.
Well, you got to remember that. I was never I'm still not. I mean, I'm good with a box call and slate call. I'm not good with a mouth call very good. I can make the noise, I can make it work, but I'm not good. So I came up with just the quiet coo, hens being calm and pecking around and feeding. kind of little purrs, little chick, girls talking amongst themselves. Hey, I'm over here. Hey, look, I found some bugs. Oh, look over here. Scratch over there. Hey, Martha, look at that. Hey, is that a new look for you? That kind of thing. And the birds seem to come in more not hyped up or heightened when they hear that.
Atmosphere,
it's kind of like when the girls are calm, the dudes are calm. And all of a sudden, I told you this, you weren't here, but about 3 weeks ago, I brought it up on the show that's now become the new hip way to call turkeys in. Is my old stupid way of doing it, of just, sitting there with a slate on your knee, just going, just making noise. Not, nothing like that. Just, if you want to locate, you got a gobbler, it's like, okay, then that works for that. But then you set up a little closer to him if you're running and gunning, then you just kind of quiet down, go, the girls have moved in, and we're just over here hanging, doing girl time. So if you want to come hang with us, you better come over here.
Right now, with as much as these birds have been chased and pressured by so many different people, some of your traditional box calls, pot calls, those birds have heard that thing for 3 weeks, straight.
They already know.
They're like, they're bad stuff over there, but you turn around, there's people who could run a trumpet or a wing ball call or something that's just real soft and subtle, and that's doing real well for a lot of people.
Dumb question, where's the one that you put in your mouth? What's it called?
Diaphragm?
Diaphragm call.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you have the wing bone, and then you got
the box.
there's a myriad. Scratcher, scratch box. What's the one that Gadskin's call? I don't even know what kind of. I'd give you a scratch box, wouldn't it? It'd be a scratcher. Because you got the little scratch toot jigger. But anyway, with turkey camp going on, when are you heading up to Pennsylvania to do your turkeys?
The end of the month. May 3rd, the season opens up there, so I'll be up there for the opener on May 3rd. And then I'll come back for a little bit, be back the following weekend, and then I will be up there quite a bit after that.
So he's going to be gone probably for the mudfish show.
Oh, I generally,
He'll be gone for that.
No,
you're not going to be here for that?
No,
for Toby's mudfish
he holds
show?
it on opening day as PA turkey.
See?
I think I might try to get in it this year because I got a super secret location supposedly loaded with mudfish.
You actually going to fish it?
I got some insider info.
Do you have to fish there, or
no? You can go anywhere. You can go anywhere where you got to bring a mudfish back in there. So it's not
like the squirrel event.
Yes, exactly. Well, next month we're in May right now, right? May, June, May, February, March, May, April.
We're in April.
April. Are we in April?
Yeah, wake up, boy.
Oh crap! My kid's birthday.
How much of that energy drink did you have this morning?
About a half a can. But no, I was going to ask you, since you're going back to Pennsylvania, I read a story this past week where the Pennsylvania Supreme Court is hearing a story or an argument, a case that was presented by a bunch of guys who own big hunting camps up around in this area. Mm-hmm. And they say they're being harassed by the Fish and Game because the Fish and Game is now going onto their private land and putting trail cameras, trying to catch them doing nefarious things out on their own property.
How is that legal for them to come on somebody else's private property?
Well, let me get out of the way for this one because here it comes.
A wildlife officer, if there's a perceived violation or they need to do a resource check, they can turn around and go on somebody's private property without permission in order to do that. I think the landowners would turn around and have, a little bit of standing in the sense if they're going and putting game cameras on their property, and so they're not there doing the resource check, they're just doing surveillance. Yeah. And at that
kind of like the same argument for red light cameras and stuff. If the cop's not witnessing you running the red light or speeding, then how do you prove it?
Yeah, but this has to do with their right. If you see me out there hunting, and now you can come on to check to see whether or not I have a hunting.
Because that's probable cause.
You can check to see if I have that.
That makes sense.
But that camera's not there during just those periods of time.
That's true.
So if somebody likes to go out and fool around with their wife in the woods, now that's an invasion of privacy.
Well, because I think one of the arguments when I read the article was these hunters, these people, these landowners feel that you have a right and an expectation of privacy on your own property, just like you would if you were inside your home.
Well, you can't. But on the legal side, you can't just be a moonshiner on your own private property.
Well, you can
Yes, you
if
can.
you're doing it
Yeah,
legally.
you
You
can.
can if you're legally
Who's
doing
going
it.
to do it legally?
Well, if it's for personal consumption or for gifting, you
But-
can do it all
but-
you want to.
But
It's when you
they-
sell it that's a totally
they
different
have
thing.
they have the ability to come and do a resource check, okay? But what you have is if they're going extending beyond that, they're now going out there and putting cameras out there. That's not checking the resource. That's not checking the person that's out there doing surveillance. I think they have a chance of losing that case. But what
Who
you have-
losing? The fishing game?
The game.
Okay,
Yeah, the
yeah,
game
fishing game.
department. But you get people who get harassed so much, okay, and then they turn around and are looking to get the rights of those law enforcement diminished. And do you remember that just happened here in the state of Florida?
Oh yeah, with the boats.
Yeah,
With
okay,
the boating.
yeah.
We have people who were, just getting stopped galore
Just because.
because
They were in a
on
boat.
the water on a boat, but they were doing a safety check. That is the means of stopping it. We're doing a safety check.
Which I thought I always was totally against that. I mean, it's no different than a cop pulling you over on the side of the road, and they go, "Why are you pulling me over?" You go, "Well, I just want to do a safety check.
Yeah,
Make sure
there's-
you're okay, and let's see if you got the right
I
things, or your blinker's working,
So,
and all the other
I
stuff."
kind of disagree with that.
But why? Why would you-
Finish your thought. We'll come back to that.
But the thing is,
What do you mean
the
disagree?
state of Florida just reined in the FWC. But now, if you have a fishing pole visible,
You
they
got
still
probable
got it.
cause.
They still will stop you under the presence of, I'm doing a resource check.
Yeah.
I'm going to check your coolers. I'm going to check that. Law enforcement, for as long as they've been, want to have that one-on-one interaction with the person to make an evaluation. Okay.
Right.
To see if you're impaired, see if you're drunk, see if there's anything else going on, if there's an odor reeking from your vessel or boat or car.
Well,
They're going to do that, but they're going
In the woods,
they
it's
just need a
totally
reason
different.
to stop you.
But in the woods, these guys were saying that, especially this one particular hunting camp, that they've had encounters with officers over 20-something times within a season. That seems like they're being targeted for this, that they're being harassed by these guys. And now they find out that they're putting cameras on their property. And the lawyer for one of the members of the camp said the worst violation that we've ever had thrown on one of our members was a guy drove within a few hundred yards of his stand, parked his truck, walked 200 yards down a trail, and a fishing game a Pennsylvania officer stopped him and said, "Where are you going?" He says, "I'm going to my stand." He says, "You're hunting?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I need to see your hunting license." He goes, "Well, it's in my truck." And he says, "You don't have it on you?" And he's like, "No." And he goes, "Well, I'm going to write you a ticket." And the guy's like, well, "My truck is right there. It's 200 yards away. Plus, we're on private land." So
Land don't matter.
he
But
goes,
you
but
still should have your hunting license on you
You're
at all
supposed to
times,
have your
and your tag.
the law says
Yeah.
you're supposed to have it on you, but you would think, I'm not trying to put words or anything into somebody's mind, but if you were trying to be a community type officer, you'd go, "You have your license? Yeah, show it to me." So you go back to the thing, he shows you in the car, he goes, "Now here's what you're going to need to do. Put this in your pocket. I'm going to give you a verbal warning. If I catch you out here again without the license, then I'm going to write you a ticket."
Or educate them about it.
That's what I'm saying.
But
That's
also,
what he
don't
did.
they have it on their apps too?
No, but
Yeah, you have it on your phone.
Can you show your phone?
You have to have the tag.
Does it have to
So
be
the
mounted
tag,
on
yes.
you?
No, it does no longer have to be mounted on you. It could be in your wallet. It could be in your pocket.
It used to be have to be
You had
displayed
it
on your body.
back.
So you're
But-
talking about the tag for the species, not your hunting
Yeah,
license.
correct.
No, well, it used to be you had to have your hunting orange license thing.
On
that had
this
the big,
clear plastic
looked
or
like a
something
big
on
giant
your vest,
baby
yeah.
pin. No, they put it in the vest on your back.
Yeah, you had it in the center of your back.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, but
like a license tag.
yeah, it's like a license plate. Yeah. But and it used to be big enough that they could read it with binoculars. I mean,
From a distance. Yeah,
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they could turn.
it's about the
around
size of a motorcycle license tag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the whole thing is where somebody's either made them mad, okay, the officers, and now
Now you're on my radar, and I'm gonna keep an eye on
now
you.
I'm going to
Nitpick everything about you.
I make this comment too. our agency every once in a while. I can give you a death by 1,000 cuts. Okay?
Right.
Or
They're harassing you about
or you
everything.
can just turn around and help me out with what I'm looking for, or I could make it and carve it up into so many little small pieces and have it come from so many small directions that it requires 10 times more work for you.
More officers, more resources, more everything else.
So,
But I understand. But anyway, so this case is going up to the Supreme Court in the state of Pennsylvania, where these guys are arguing to try to at least what they said. The bottom line is they want the FWC or whatever they call them up there to have the same exact powers that any sheriff or cop would have, where if you're going to come search on private property, you have to have probable cause, the Emergency Act, or a warrant to be able to come onto the property. Just because you think Johnny's out there in the back of the property throwing donuts down on the ground to kill bears is not proof that Johnny's back there throwing donuts on the ground.
That's not reasonable cause. You had a witness. You had somebody make an accusation. Now you follow it up.
But they want them to be able to go, look, we think Johnny's baiting. Judge, I need a warrant to go search the property and go see it. And let's try to do it as quickly as possible before all the donuts are eaten, or they clean it up or whatever.
Look, man, I have watched many Northwoods Law, Yellowstone Wardens, and 99% of the time, if they're doing something wrong and they say they're doing something wrong.
Well, that's true, and I'll give you that.
I mean,
But the other thing is that they feel like now they're the ones being harassed by law enforcement, because now you're setting up cameras on our properties to try to catch us doing something that you're not here to witness.
And that I think they're going to win on.
Yeah.
I would think they would end up winning on that part there, because that is not that's not doing a resource check.
I don't agree with the cameras now.
No, and you know what? Nowadays with cellular capabilities, they could be sitting down the road in a squad car watching on a laptop or whatever, just going through cameras, click, 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 click. And when they say Vince walk out somewhere and he's got a bag slung over his shoulder, they go, "Oh, does that look like a bag of corn to you? It looks like a bag of corn to you. Let's go get him. Let's go get him. He looks like he's got corn."
Now we're talking about Vince here.
Yeah,
it's not a bag of corn.
No.
Well,
It's not a bag of corn.
you know what I'm saying.
But all right, now this next question though, can they use a drone or a satellite?
There's a lot of agencies that are not allowed to use a drone. Okay, Florida, that was one thing that was brought up here in Florida, is they were not able to use drones in order to do some stuff. They are now doing more with drones, and there is a whole drone team.
But is it a drone as in a surveillance, or just a drone as in covering area or finding?
Going out and looking.
Because those cameras on the drones, you can zoom in pretty darn good.
They're doing offshore stuff.
Oh, I know they're doing offshore stuff.
I know. We see them offshore. Like, we just wave at them.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a wave.
Yeah.
Certain kind of wave.
It's a wave.
It's a wave. Well, speaking of wave, I waved. Guess what I waved at yesterday? Went right over the parking lot. 1:35 in the afternoon.
At work?
Yeah.
An Eagle?
Right along I-75. Right along 275.
Eagle?
An A10.
Warthog?
Yeah. I'm sitting there and I heard those GE engines coming. And I was like, what in the world? I look up and there he goes. He flew right over. It's about maybe 1,500 feet. I'm going, McDill's that way, bro.
When was that?
1:35 in the afternoon, headed towards Clearwater Airport. Yesterday.
Huh?
Wait, no, day before yesterday.
What was going on?
The Sun and Fun has been out this way, and so when you turn around and you have that, you get a lot of bizarre stuff.
But McDill was, he was going north. He was going, he wasn't going
That's
north.
probably some private person's plane.
An A10 Warthog.
Yeah.
Damn, where do I buy those? An A10 or us?
You don't have a checkbook big enough to buy those, buddy.
What?
Nope.
They're not that fancy of a plane.
Just buy it for scrap, or at least say I'm buying it for
You
scrap.
don't have a checkbook for it. None of us do.
You don't think so?
Oh, I know so.
We're going to start a GoFundMe account so for Braden can get an A10. An A10 Warthog. We're going to take a break so we can go put together the website so that you can donate for
GoFundMe
GoFundMe.
We're going to see how much an A10 Warthog costs.
And
I
we're
don't
not,
think it costs that much.
All right, let's check on the break.
we're out of Smokin Aces BBQ in Plant City. I'm Braden Gunn. This is Captain Vince Noble. This is Bill George. We'll be right back. back. It is the Big and Wild Outdoors. Braden Gunn, Captain Bit Snubble, and Bill George. During the break, Bill George found us an A10 for $1 million.
Yeah.
It's
still not in your checkbook.
But I could finance it.
and that's the cheapest one.
But think of this: an A10 Warthog. Okay, if I could get it past that, anybody who's driving slow in the left lane, you could call it in, and we go eliminate it out of the left lane.
No, because it's not going to have working armament on there.
I don't think the government's going to let you run around with a Warthog fully loaded.
Why not?
What's your favorite?
They're still buying World War II stuff.
He's going to walk into his favorite gun shop and go, "Yeah, I need to order 1,700 cases of 20 millimeter and 30 millimeter cannon rounds."
They're going to look at you like a terrorist.
It's like, for what? So I can keep traffic cleared on I-4.
Listen, I guarantee you could own it, and it's just paying some other tax or license.
That's true.
Or permit.
That is true. He's does
okay.
That is true.
It's all about the money.
It is.
Bill, it's all about that gray line area, isn't it?
No,
it's about the money.
It's completely black and white. You're completely good.
It's about the money. Oh, and speaking about the money, Bill George, did you hear that? I think it was the state of Nebraska. They have one of the most honest politicians in the entire world. They were actually they were trying to pass legislation where non-resident hunters could only hunt waterfowl 3 days out of the week. That's it, 3 days. You spend all that money to get to Nebraska. You get your outfit, you get your gun, you get your ammo, you get all your stuff.
Friday, you can't hunt until Tuesday?
And you can't hunt. You got 3 days out of the week that you took off from work. But the governor vetoed the bill, saying that it's going to cost us too much money.
Wow.
It's going to keep non-residents away, and it's going to cost us too much money. And no. We're not going to do it.
There's this big movement. Everybody wants. This is a problem with like captains. Okay, we'll just go with captains in general.
This is all your fault.
You hear them. Oh, we don't want to. We don't want you keeping fish. We don't. It's all about whittling away somebody else so I can have a little bit easier time or something like that. And these
it's
residents,
not just captains there, buddy. It's everybody.
With the snook closer and the redfish closer, and you got numbers out the yin yang. Oh, we got it. Yes.
But you can't be up on him because he's not a fishing guide captain. He's not a fishing captain.
I just put them all in the same boat.
Okay? That's like saying all hunters are bad, Bill.
All those turkey hunters are all poachers.
But they're all poachers. Around, there's this big movement of I'm trying to eliminate. Oh, I don't want the archery people in here, or I don't want the gun people. I want this I just want it for me. I just want it for this. And throughout the United States, they're either jacking up the prices on non-residents.
They are all over the place.
Or they're trying to put
fishing
restrictions,
licenses.
just like Florida tried in a number of places in Florida starting next year. If you're not a resident, you're excluded from being able to hunt turkeys for 9 days.
The first 9 days.
Okay,
yeah.
So this is a big movement, but it is going to cost. And
it's going to cost billions.
It will cost people. But the thing is, the people who look at the big picture aren't looking at it in the sense of what was Florida. It's the people who are just listening to the whining and the crying. The FWC
from certain guides and certain captains and certain people.
No.
It's more commercial.
You did not during this closure, during our snook closure when it was unfounded biologically and sustainability. You didn't have captains out there going and saying, "I disagree with it. I turn around and I think it's all wrong." You had captains that would take you out and fish you, and they supported you keeping your fish or keeping fish, but they weren't going to go public and say it because they'd be shamed.
Oh yeah, by the other. Well, you see what happened with.
They'd be shamed.
You saw what happened with Brock Horner. I mean,
these dunzo.
Those captains, they'll turn on you in a dime, and I know for a fact because I saw it on social media. I saw plenty of captains who were berating his activities when he, got into the verbal confrontation with the young man by the bridge. And I know full well, I've seen those guys, those captains, those very same people that were berating him and giving him 10 types of, I've seen their actions down in Boca Grande Pass. I know. I'm just calling, dude. It's hypocrites. I mean, you talk about hypocrisy. I'm like, bro, do you not remember the time you were throwing 1 ounce egg sinkers at one guy because he got too close to your client's fish or his fishing line? And you were bouncing him off the side of his engine. I mean, come on, man. You know, don't talk crap because you know crap. I mean, talk crap because you've done that crap. And that's what they've done.
Should I put a disclaimer on this part of the video?
No, because it's true. I mean, dude, you've been down there. You have never been there.
It's a rodeo. I mean,
it's not a rodeo. It's a demolition derby.
It gets very intense. I mean, people are very what's the word, dedicated to their craft.
Well, they're trying to make that money. They're trying to keep, or at least they tell you they're trying to keep their clients happy.
I don't want to keep going down your rabbit hole, but back in the day, the jig fishermen versus the live bait.
Oh yeah,
isn't Boca Grande just the fight amongst those two? Oh my God, biggest FWC meeting, bigger than the bear controversy
was the jigger
versus the live baiters.
Live baiters, yeah.
Well, you know, we're talking about the fishing subjects and whatnot. We told you guys on the show many moons ago to start buying your fishing equipment.
Oh, you weren't here for that show.
Bill wasn't here. We talked about fishing equipment. We talked about your poles, your reels, your rod, everything that has to do with fishing.
With the tariffs.
Now with these tariffs happening, all those Temus and all those sites, forget about it. You're not going to get your products.
If you're getting it shipped over from China, it's going to be garbage. What? It's going to be 150. What's the tariff now?
I think it's 150% or 120%.
Yeah, that's going to be added on to the cost of it.
But on the tariff side of it, though, people are thinking tariffs. Most average American are thinking retail. Oh, retail. You're only getting tariffed on what the product costs when you import it.
Right.
So if you're making this product for 55 cents, you're only going to get 120% of 55 cents, not the wholesale, not the
retail price.
It's on the actual manufacturing side is where you're getting the hit. So a lot of these places are going to start gouging their prices because we're going to get hit so hard. But because the consumer already thinks that. Right. If you really do the math, you might be getting a 35-cent increase, and these people are jacking it up to 12 to 8% more on top of their retail.
It's adding another 4 cents to it.
Pretty much.
Well, it's kind of like selling a T-shirt for $24.99 or $24.95 or something like that.
Here's such a
Instead of just saying it's $25, let's just get it over with. $25.
We're going to do the $25 T-shirt.
There you go. It's $25.
But the cool part of all of this, and then we found out there is a lot of American-based companies, Bull Bay right down the street, that makes their rods and reels.
Great rods, lifetime warranty on the thing. You snap it, break it, they'll give you a new one.
I mean, now it's an opportunity to start buying American products.
Well, I think it's shined a spotlight on American products, and now more people are looking, going, man, I didn't even know these were still made in America. Like some pin reels, Pin Internationals. A lot of the pin reels, IRL, I think is still made here. Van Staal still made here, and so there's a lot of rod manufacturers.
The big thing with how much something cost is A, supply, and B, demand.
Right.
Okay.
So let's get more people making it.
If the demand goes up for the local stuff, the cost is going to go up.
Well, but it's also going to go down because they're manufacturing even more. If you look at it
that would be in theory, but people get greedy on top of it. So.
Well, so I when you brought this up, I went and I looked. I found a couple of websites, and there's one called American Made. What is it? Shop USA or whatever it is. I want to give you the website so you can look it up. But they list like all. If you look at anything like clothing manufacturers in the United States. They'll look at All American Made is what it's called. All American Made.
Yeah,
and if you look it up, if you go in and you go put in fishing, it'll tell you like the 20 great fishing reels made in the United States and in 2025. It gives you all the stuff. So the Pin Torque reel, great reel by the way.
Awesome reel.
The Torque 2 is made right here in the United States. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but it would cost you about the same as a Van Staal. Let's see here. I'm trying to go through all the blah, 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 blah. The Pin Z series, made in the United States. I know the Pin Internationals and the Senators are still made in the United States for big game stuff. Let's see. Keep going.
Now I know some of you guys out there are watching.
Accurate twin spins.
They're talking. Oh, I know somebody's out there going to say, well, what about the internal gears and what about all the little pieces that are coming from China? Half of those are probably coming from Japan now.
Most of the ears, internal stuff like with Fuji and all those things like that, those are all coming from Japan. So
and we're not having a tariff on Japan. So
and we do have a tariff, but I think it's only like it's always been 10% or something like that.
We're just going after China at this point.
But it's like
You're not just going after
for the most part. I think for what I've heard this past week. I thought it was 10% across the board except for China.
Yeah, everybody but China.
Let's see. If you're looking for product stuff, Eagle Claw, still made in the United States.
That's a staple.
Graham Workshops is still made in the United States. I didn't know that so many electric reels were made right here in the state of Florida.
I had no clue.
Big companies that are still here in the state of Florida. Cortland Line, still made in the United States. Cast King, believe it or not, my kid loves Cast King braided line. It's made here in the United States. McCoy's, anyway, Scientific American, and on and on and on. But if you go to U.S. made or American made or U.S. made products, we'll put a link on our Facebook page, and that
I'll put
way
a link right here on the show, right here.
And that way you can actually go and start buying American. And you know what, you should. And I don't know how many smarmy people I've seen on social media that say that. They go, if you're worried about tariffs on your Chinese goods, here's an idea. Don't buy the Chinese goods.
Well, and that's the point, because here's the problem. People in America always are looking for a deal. Oh, what's the best deal I can get? How much can I get it for? Put that away.
You don't
put it away.
You don't spend more than what you have to.
I mean, I look at it this way.
You don't spend more than you.
I'm going to say this. I don't spend more than I can afford to spend.
Right.
But I save up for it like the old-fashioned way if I know I'm shooting for a goal. When I bought my Van Stahl reel 30 years ago.
You probably saved 2 years for it, didn't you?
Dude, and not only that, I bought that reel knowing that I'd be handing it down to my child, who would probably be handing it down to his grandchild.
Yeah.
You know how many Zebco Chinese-made reels I could burn through in the same amount of time? I'm going to spend the same amount of money. It's just going to take 10 years of destroying rods and reels to get to that point.
Yep.
Whereas if I buy it now, and it'll last me for 50, 60 years.
To me, I've always supported local vendors when at all possible. You know, if you can get it local and go buy it down in the store. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, they can't have all the supply that you're looking for. You know.
No.
It depends on what you're looking for. I mean, when I was running the fishing department over at G5, my first idea was, we have so many lure and bait manufacturers in the state of Florida. Why aren't we carrying the local stuff? Why aren't we carrying bitters? Why aren't we carrying gorilla baits? Why aren't we carrying big dog baits? Why aren't we carrying these things and the ones that are made here within the state of Florida? And some of these guys were still running it with their wives out of their garages. And you know what? We had it in the store, and we were selling it. And people would go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're," and they know my name. I can't believe you're selling John's baits in here, man. And they're like, "Crap, I'm going to buy these, man. I thought these were secret because nobody knew about them." But when it comes to ammunition, I know we used to all buy Russian, 223 and Wolf and all that stuff. Well, Biden, put the kibosh on that years ago. But there are other companies, Gorilla, American, Hornady even has another division of lower grade ammunition that they make and things like that. You just have to look and do your research.
I wish there would be a retail store that would go all American, like Walmart used to be way back in the day.
Oh yeah, remember that was like China was verboten in there, and then all of a sudden it was like, these are all American made, American.
I mean, Walmart was your homegrown, hometown store.
And you know what? That used to be a number one selling point for DK Flatwoods camouflage. Because that cloth was made in America.
Yeah.
It was dyed in America. It was sewn in America. And they said by law, legally, the label that they put in there with the little American flag, you can't put that in there unless it is totally 100% American made. You can't say that about coolers. They can say, "Oh, this is an American company." Yeah, but it was
assembled in America.
It was designed. And it's owned by an American company, but it's manufactured and produced over in China. So Yeti and others that are made over there. I mean, they say they're American companies. Yes, they are, but they're not building them here in the United States. So here's an idea. Build the Yetis over in freaking Canada. Let's make the Canucks happy. You know? I mean, why do you have to go all the way to freaking China to get it done? And cast net companies, the same
right
way.
here in the States.
You know who makes some of the greatest cast nets in the world? Right across south of the border in Mexico.
Here's what makes China so easy because the Chinese people will work for lesser money than the American people.
I cannot fathom the idea that Bill George owns a chicken farm and has 17.9 tons of chicken, and it's cheaper for him to box it up, put it in a container, ship it to China, get it processed, packaged, put back in a container, shipped back to the United States, unloaded, brought to the distributor, and then redistributed out in the United States. How in the world is that chicken cheaper than Vince's chicken farm, which is 15 miles up the road?
You use chicken, but I look at it like we take a dead car, you turn around, you crush it here, you put it on a boat, it has to go all the way over there, then they turn around, melt it down, make you a shoehorn, and send it back to you and sell it to you for 50 cents to $1.
You know what?
Okay.
You know what? I don't know how much time we have before we have to take a break, but one things that blew my mind was, I don't even know.
We're way past.
Back in the day, hunting in Missouri, I go get my deer processed with the Mennonites. Okay, they have a big deer processing place. Trucks lined up down the road. So you know me, I'm Mr. What do you do with that? What do you do this? What do you do with that? What do you do with the hooves? What do you do with that? Literally, they had refrigerator trailer trucks, about 20 or 30 of them in the back.
Phil.
Barrels of bones in these, hooves and unused other products in here, hides in here, guts and blood and everything else in buckets in here, or in barrels, big apple barrels in here. Antlers, blah, 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 in this one. And I was like, what the hell do you do with all that stuff? Send it to China.
Why?
Sell it to China. Well, they use the blood because they make soup and stuff out of the blood and everything else and the organs. Of course, any of the penile and things like that are dried, ground up, and used for medicine.
Right.
Antlers, the same thing.
Right.
For some reason, it's strengthening, and they shave it and put it in soups and things like that. The leather, all the hides that people didn't want, all gets processed into leather, as Bill George says, turned into gloves,
and sent back
and sold to the United States. And I'm like, well, how much do you get for like a stupid little little pair of these? Like, they were 4 corn antlers. They were laying on the ground. I go, what would you get for these? He goes, probably $3 per set of antlers, $3. And I'm like, well, how many antlers? He goes, oh, I don't know. That semi-tractor trailer and that one are pretty much full. That's 2 seasons, and those are pretty much full. People don't want them. Spikes, cow horns, messed up, whatever, all that stuff. Roadkill, whatever, they're all in there. And the 2 of these semis were full of hides. 2 of them were full of bones, leg bones, and all that stuff. And it's all going over to China.
There was a guy.
They're making more money off the freaking offal that we're throwing away than they were making off of processing Bill's deer.
They turned around. Back it was like in the 90s, there was a guy that wanted all the deer genital because he was getting $10 a piece.
Well, you remember that was the big controversy about killing bears. You know, people were just taking the gallbladders because the gallbladder's worth, what, $5,000 on the black market. So, I mean, you can make 10 grand by shooting 2 bears. And it was the same thing with anything else on the planet. But buy American. Go to All American Made Products. The list, the link, everything is all there, and it's on our Facebook page. And start it. Start buying American. I mean, make it simple. Or, you know what? Let's just not get evil about it. People that are friendly with us, scratching our backs, we can scratch their backs too. It's no big deal. I got nothing against the Mexican people, and if I've seen some of the cast nets that come out of Mexico, I'd buy one in a heartbeat.
Amazing nets coming out of Mexico.
Those Daiichi ones, man, that they're making down there, beat monofilament all over the place. But God have mercy, don't get it hung on anything because it'll be there forever. You're not getting it out.
Nope, you're done with that one.
Not unless you can pull it off the bottom,
Nope.
or you bring your snorkeling and scuba gear. And on that note, we're going to take a break. It is the Big and Wild Outdoors. Braden Gunn, Captain Vince Noble, and Bill George at Smokin Aces BBQ in Plant City. We'll be right back. you sure?
Yeah.
Are you going to order something, or are we going to stay and eat? What are you going to get? Biscuits, ribs? What do you get?
I may get the wings.
Wings?
We've been talking
You got
about the
wings
all
last
morning.
time. You got wings last time we were here.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll get
I don't
wings
know.
again.
What'd you get? I always get the two meat.
I've been staring at that sign, looking at the smoked gator sausage.
Oh, that is good here.
And I'm
too.
watching. I'm like, that just sounds really good.
All right, well, let's hurry up and wrap up this show. So, welcome back, everybody. This is the Big and Wild Outdoors. I'm Braden Gunn, Captain Vince. No, I'm Bill George.
Bill.
Speaking.
There it is.
And we're out here at Smokin Aces BBQ in Plant City. As you saw by the opening, we're trying to determine what we're going to have for lunch. So it's all good.
Gator sausage.
Gator sausage sounds good. I like gator sausage.
I mean, normally when I come here for dinner, I get the 3-meat combo: ribs, chicken, and brisket.
I get that for lunch. I get the 2 meat for lunch, but if I'm here for dinner, it's the steak.
But I'm splitting it with my wife. I'm splitting it with my wife. I get 3 meat.
She's not here.
And 2. So, because she's not here,
He's like, 2.
then I go into things that she doesn't eat, and that's chicken on a bone, and so that's where I would get the wings.
This could turn into a really bad joke, but
Yeah.
Sometimes I turn around and I'll get the mahi. You know, get the mahi.
Why in God's name? Because it's called Smokin Aces BBQ for mahi.
Have you had the mahi?
It is good. My son got it when he was here.
Good.
He got it when he was here.
Yeah.
Barrett loved it.
Don't
I
be
thought it was
knocking
awesome.
it. You know?
Barrett,
I'm not knocking it. It's odd. That's like, I'm gonna go to a barbecue place. Can I get some macaroni and cheese and a fried chicken sandwich?
and some ice cream. Is this an ice cream shop? No, it's not.
Fun fact I found out this week. I didn't
This
realize.
is a fun fact?
It's a fun. Well, I think it's a fun.
Is it on a Dixie cup?
It could be. I'll write it on one for you.
Remember,
Like,
remember when there used to be the trivia Dixie cups?
that used to be on the milk containers.
And Dixie cups.
Yeah, school lunch milk containers. Little trivia questions, and then
That was way before your time.
I gave my milk away.
What?
what?
And it shows. So what's your fun fact?
I didn't realize that an entire city can become a park, a national park. The city of Chattanooga has now become a park.
Chattanooga, Tennessee?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
The entire city limits?
Entire city park.
Well, that way they can make all these good rules and make it more strict on things.
For those who,
And development.
Yeah.
I mean, national parks have an entrance fee.
Oh, you got to pay to get into
I
Chattanooga?
don't know if you got to pay to get into Chattanooga. I haven't seen that yet.
But a
You set up a toll
national park has an entrance fee.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, it's not a national park. It's just
A state park.
So they can make their own. So they can make their own there.
State, not national.
So they can make
Well,
their
here
own.
you
rules.
have to have you got a daily fee.
I mean, truly, Fort DeSoto is a state park.
And you
They
got
charge
to-
you.
Yeah, they charge you to get in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go to Chattanooga anymore.
Why are you going to get to Lookout Mountain if you go to Chattanooga? You got to go through
There's
Chattanooga.
gonna be a toll at the beginning. of the mountain.
Maybe it'd be like a toll road.
That's what I'm saying. Welcome to Chattanooga, sir. It'll be $5 a head, and you have what? 4 people in the car. It's $20 for a breathing permit.
I found it kind of interesting that.
Where did you hear that? Did you hear that on the news or something?
I was
this
reading
week?
some article on it.
Really?
Yeah. It was interesting because I didn't realize that an entire city can become a.
Do you have an interesting fun fact that we'd like to get out of the show with, or anything?
No.
Nothing.
Well,
Nothing, Bill?
I guess my buddy called in a bird for my daughter,
That's not a fun fact.
and
That's
she
just.
didn't shoot, which I'm known for doing.
Why didn't she shoot?
I don't know.
Beard too small?
I haven't. I just got the text, but
Did she click it, or did she just not want it?
I don't know the whole story. It's
Well, then what the heck?
It's a fun fact.
How is it a fun
He
fact?
called
It's
it
not
in.
even out- it's not
There
the
was
whole
no
story.
shot. That's we'll have
Do you
Paul
have a fun
Harvey.
fact?
We'll have Paul Harvey
What's your fun
next
fact?
time.
Please breathe. Don't breathe.
Bill George, you're killing me. As a matter of fact, I have a fun fact now that you don't have one.
So then.
What do you think is the most scary thing in the world to an elephant?
Oops. A mouse?
Ah! You can tell he watched cartoons in the 70s.
Yeah, that's what was always portrayed in the cartoon.
All right, so what do you think it is? The most terrifying thing to an elephant is a...
Bengal tiger.
There are no tigers in Africa, you crazy...
He watched TV.
So I asked my kids this, and they said they thought it would be like a lion's roar. You know, like a lion. Ooh, you know, a big male.
Right.
Because, you know, they've been known to attack elephants, although it's very rare. But Believe it or not, it's something extremely small and much smaller than you would think.
Smaller than a mouse?
Smaller than a mouse.
A dung beetle.
Okay, a little bit smaller than a dung beetle because they're like this big.
Right.
So it's smaller than a dung beetle. I will say that it's not just one they're afraid of, it's the exact swarm of them.
Ants?
No.
Wasps?
Bees.
Really?
Yes. Fun fact!
Did not know.
Elephants are terrified of bees. It's a way they found out by accident that farmers in Africa, that if they put the sounds of bees swarming and flying around, that the elephants will stay away from their fields, that they won't go anywhere near them whatsoever. And if an elephant is coming into a territory, if they kick on that sound, the elephant immediately stop, turn, and run and go the other way.
Interesting.
And will not.
Know that.
Well, you think about it. If you're that big and you only have this as your defense, and all of a sudden they're all over the place around your eyes and everywhere else, what defense do you have?
Flapping your ears in your trunk.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So it says,
That is a fun fact.
buzzing sounds which will cause the herd to actually flee an area within seconds. In fact, when the speaker box of buzzing sound bees are placed around African farms, the elephants stay far away, making them the most effective deterrent for farmers they've found so far.
You know what? And that's not going to
that
hurt
crazy?
That's awesome because it's not going to hurt the animal.
It's just crazy that they'd be afraid of bees. But if you think about it, it kind of makes sense.
And here, who knows, when you went out of the range of the radio station and it just started buzzing, look, that's how they found out.
I'm afraid of bees. I don't like bees either.
Bees don't bother me.
Yeah, bees don't bother me.
And you know what? But
Multiple bees bother me.
And you know what? Florida little yellow jackets don't bother me. It's them damn mahogany or red wasps.
The big ones?
Them big boys, the ones that like literally,
They'll put you down.
Yeah.
They will put you down.
That like scream at you as they sting you.
It sounds like the plane you were watching the other day.
And before we get out of here, I found this online, and this is just for my own personal enjoyment and anybody else. I just happened to find this. We're not getting paid for this. It's not a sponsor or anything like that. I actually found because we get asked this question an awful lot. Mm-hmm. Where do I go? Where can I go get hogs?
Yep.
Where can I get hogs? Where can I get hogs? I found an unlimited hog hunt, 3 days, 2 nights. Guess how much?
$1,500.
$500.
Stop it.
$500.
Even number.
It was a $499.95.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Come on.
What? I like these guys. So if you're looking for an unlimited hogs 3 day, 2 night, $500. It includes, if you want, their services. Night vision is offered. 40 feeder setup, 10,000 acres, cleaning offered. And it's up in Greenwood, South Carolina.
All right, so hold on now. There it is, offered. So it's $500.
Cleaning services
Offered.
Right. So
So-
there's your extra fee there.
Dude,
And then the green,
that's still
the
50
green
bucks.
light vision offered.
You
There's
would
an extra
pay
fee
it.
there.
You
maybe.
would pay.
Oh, I would absolutely pay it.
Yeah. But so anyway, I'm going to give you a number here. It's up in Greenwood, South Carolina. I can't see the number. What is it? It's like
I
Colt
don't got my glasses on.
Outfitters. Is that what it is?
Let me see. Hold on.
ColtOutfitters.com.
Wait,
I'm
I
gonna
got
look it up.
my prescription
Wait, no,
sunglasses.
I'm gonna go look it up on the line and see if it's on. If that's what it is, so I don't send it to some poor guy's.
While he's looking, don't forget to check out our YouTube page, brand new page, and it's at the Big and Wild Outdoors on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're gonna have all our shows up on YouTube moving forward. We'll still be on UCTV, we'll still be on Carbon, but mainly you're gonna get the most current, up-to-date episode on YouTube faster than any other platform that we have it on.
Right, and we're working on trying to do things live on Facebook and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we're going to go live on YouTube. I'm working on that. So when we do our live shows, it'll be on a YouTube channel.
Okay, it's ColtOutfitters.com. COLT, ColtOutfitters.com. Veteran-owned and operated, free-range hog hunting in Georgia and South Carolina. Thousands of acres of prime hunt and over 40 sites to go out and go to. Serving hunters in 3 counties: Aberville, South Carolina; Edgefield, South Carolina; Greenwood, South Carolina; McCormick, South Carolina; and Alberton, Georgia. And so you can go check them out, all that stuff. They're the ones that were literally on their Facebook page offering 3 days hog hunt unlimited $500.
That's awesome.
That's worth the
a
drive.
deal right there.
Sorry.
Right? I know.
It's worth the drive.
He gets excited. He had too much energy drink this morning.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Check out our YouTube page at the Big and Wild Outdoors. Check out our Facebook page, Big and Wild Outdoors, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Bye, Bill George.
All right.
Let's eat.
I'm hungry.
Let's go.